Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Recovered on Purpose show, Monday Motivation. Super excited that you are here. And today, the episode is called Fueled by Purpose, Transforming Your Thinking for Success. And today, we're going to be talking about the power of purpose and meaning, how to cultivate this in your life. And we've got some stories of famous people that have done this in their lives. We're going to be embracing failure as a stepping stone for success. And we got more stories there of famous people that have failed a whole bunch of times and how we can use that for our life as well. And then cultivating a growth mindset and some tips for doing that. Love you guys. Enjoy the show and keep living Recovered on Purpose.
The black represents the darkness from which we came. The white represents the light in which we now live. And the red represents the passion it takes to live Recovered on Purpose.
Good morning, everybody. It is great to see you. Enzo is saying hello too. You want to say hi, Enzo? You want to say hi? Say hi. Look at how big he's getting now. Look at how big this guy is now. He's coming in for a little bit of the Monday motivation, huh, Bubbas? Huh, Bubbas? He's a big guy now. All right, so this week's episode is about being fueled by purpose. And we've got a few tips, tricks, as well as some stories of some people that have done these things in their life and become extremely, extremely successful. And obviously, I love purpose. I live by purpose. I live by the mindset of purpose, by the growth mindset. And we're going to talk about how this is going to happen for you guys as well. And let me know where you guys are coming in from. Love to hear from you guys. Ask any questions. Let me know how any of this is hitting you as well. Love to interact with you guys. So the power of purpose and meaning. They've done studies, a bunch of different studies. And this book by Bronnie Ware, The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. And we think that, during our life, during our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s and stuff, we have this mindset of like chasing after something, chasing after success or chasing after, money or popularity and these different things. And they found that basically no one on their deathbed regrets the amount of fame they got, the amount of money they made, or the amount of power and influence that they attained. And what they found is that people actually on the most scale, they're regretting the amount of meaningful relationships that they had in their life, and then the amount of meaningful and purposeful work that they had in their life. So that means that while we're going at this in life, while we are, we have the time to focus on things in our life, we've got to put meaning on the relationships that we have. And if you guys haven't read it yet, read Viktor Frankl's, oh my gosh, I forgot what it's called, but it's basically he's stuck in the concentration camps, and he finds out, the people that are successful of making it through the concentration camp, meaning behind everything they do, behind the very small things in life that they get to have in those times. So there's a lot to do with a purposeful and meaningful work life also. And it's interesting because a lot of people look for their God-given purpose, right? And what I think is interesting is that, as a believer or not, right? Even if you're a believer, fathers, right? Father God oftentimes gives us the opportunity and the choice and the decision in a time for what we want to do with our life. And then he blesses that. He'll give us a desire. He'll give us a certain, inspiration and things like that. And then he'll bless us to do that. So when we put meaning in our work, like I'm doing this to serve people, I'm doing this to help addicts, I'm doing this to help this specific person here, or even, I'm working this hard because I want to support my family. That's a very purposeful and meaningful reason to do it as well. So shift it to finding work that you either are doing right now and shift it to the meaning behind it and the purpose behind it, or start looking for work that you can do that adds a bunch of purpose and meaning into your life. You can also do volunteering. Volunteering adds a lot of purpose and meaning also. And then you have your 9-to-5 job where you are, earning the income that you have to have. And then another one is embracing failure as a stepping stone to success. And many of you have heard some of these stories, but legitimately, Walt Disney, the guy that created Disney, like the largest, entertainment company in the world, right? From movies to what are they called? Amusement parks, one of the largest companies to ever exist on the planet. He was rejected over 300 times. And I think he filed bankruptcy like 7 times on his way to figure out this vision, this purpose, this dream that he had in his mind. And when you have something that you work for that hard, you work through the failures and you continue to go and you continue to go because you believe in it. And that doesn't mean that you're not working this job over here. That doesn't mean that you're just like putting yourself in poverty over and over and over to go for this thing. But it means that you're doing whatever it takes to make it so you can continue pursuing this dream. You can continue pursuing this purpose. And when you get to the point of it doesn't matter how many times you fail because you're learning over and over and over and over, then you won't ever fail. It will come to pass. You just can't quit. And there's another one. I'm sure you guys have all eaten at KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Colonel Sanders was rejected 1,009 times for his recipe for chicken. 1,009 times he kept going and knocking on doors and talking to different people and looking for investors and all this stuff. And he didn't allow 1,009 people saying no to him, failing 1,009 times in pitching this thing, to let him start thinking that, well, maybe my recipe isn't that good, or maybe this decision isn't that good. Well, it ended up being one of the largest fast food chains to ever exist, right? And then Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, right? He failed 1,000 times to make a successful light bulb. He was just working on it over and over and over and over. And that was a huge story, that he was working on it and then he kept failing and then wouldn't work. And then this wouldn't work and people weren't believing it and all that stuff. And then he finally made the light bulb, the working light bulb. And a reporter asked him, how does it feel to have failed 1,000 times making a light bulb? And Thomas Edison famously replied, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. Now, if we have that mindset as we're going into whatever it is that we're doing, right? We're not failing at working on something. We only fail when we actually stop striving and stop going towards that purpose that we have for our life. That's the only time that we actually fail, is when we quit. So having that mindset of like a constant growth and a constant, learning and growing and meeting people and going towards this thing, we're going to be able to get a whole lot more done in our life that we want to get done. And to cultivate that type of growth mindset, right? To cultivate that way of thinking, there's a few different ways that personally I do it. And one of the ways that I do this is I focus on the process rather than the end result. And I learned this after I published From Chains to Saved, after I published my book. And I was so focused on, getting it out and getting it in the hands of as many people as possible, making it a #1 bestseller and doing all this stuff the whole time. And then once all that stuff happened and it came to pass, right? I realized that the whole process of writing the book, the whole process of realizing all these stories and all these experiences that I have been through and how I'm going to be able to share this with so many people, and like the process of writing and editing and taking the pictures and doing all this stuff, I wasn't able to, be in that moment with it as much as I would if I was to go back and do it again. And what I do now is I focus on the process of achieving the dreams and the vision that I have. Right? The process of waking up at 5 a.m. and hopping in the cold plunge and then going to the gym. The process of getting down and doing my spiritual work with God every single morning. And then studying. The process of all these things, the discipline and the routine of it. And I really enjoy the time that I have to do these things right here. Right here, as all these different things are happening in my life, all these different successes come in and these different partnerships and these different, relationships that happen and all this stuff, that if I was focused on that, I would be missing all this amazing stuff happening right here in the moment, right here in this moment. And the amount of times that, I learn Every single morning I'm learning something when I'm hanging out with God, reading the Bible, journaling, listening to him, seeing what we're going to do today. I learn something not only about myself, but about how I perceive the world and what I'm willing to do this day to make this happen. And it feels amazing to be in this moment. So if you have this dream, right, and you have this thing that you want to do, hold on to that. But then figure out what you have to do and who you have to become to make this happen. And then enjoy the whole process of doing it day in and day out, all the way to becoming that person. And that's what the whole message of the 12-step fellowship of, one day at a time. It was never meant to be one day at a time fighting drugs and alcohol. It was meant to be the same as the Lord's Prayer. Give us today our daily bread. And that means we're trusting in God to help us with today, to do the process of taking us towards his will for our life, right? And enjoying the process day in and day out and doing whatever it takes today to live as the person that we're supposed to live as. And now, another way to cultivate this mindset is to listen to people in your life that you can trust for advice or for, feedback on what you're doing. It's a really, really important part of it. And that doesn't mean that you're just listening to any Joe Schmo telling you what you should do with your life, because the interesting thing is that, and I heard this message last week or this weekend, the only people that will hate on you for starting a journey, right? Like let's say you're about to start a health journey, an exercise journey. The only people that will talk down to you about doing that are people who aren't doing it themselves. Someone that is fit, someone that is, that is exercising and working out and eating healthy and everything, if you tell them, they're going to do everything they can to love on you and speak positively to you and help you with the process, because they've been at day one themselves. They've been at that day one themselves at some point where they were about to go into that journey. So if someone is hating on you for a journey you're about to go down, look at their life. Have they ever done it? And if they haven't, then get around some people that have done that thing and start talking to them about it. Start talking to them about your dreams and the process that you want to go down to make them happen. Good morning, Tina. Good to see you. Clean date, March 6, 2023, coming in from Clarksville, Tennessee. Good to see you, Tina. Congrats on the 2 months a couple days ago. Good work. Failure is but a lesson God gives us. Learn from it and keep growing mentally and spiritually. 9 months of recovery and feeling great. Proud of you, Wes. I remember when you first came in, bro. It's good to see you. It's good to see you in here. And again, surround yourself with the positive people. Surround yourself with people that are feeding into you, that you're able to speak positively to. They speak positively to you. And get away from people that don't talk like that talk negatively, that complain about work or complain about life, complain about issues, right? Get around people who are talking about positive things. Love you guys so much. Enjoy your week and keep living. Recover.